Good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London, 10 Downing Street. Now, I've often said, haven't I, on the show that this is where I spend a lot of my time when you don't see me over here on this channel. That's right, I report on politics as well as royals and breaking news and that sort of stuff. This particular venue, if you think about it, this historical site, has been the home of so much history. Royal, politics, and of course breaking news. It's hard to imagine that it all happens here, right here at number 10 Downing Street. But recently, of course, it's become more historical, more, well, shall we say, world famous than it could possibly have been. This is all, of course, to the sad demise of our wonderful monarch of 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II. And as ever, let me explain. What's interesting here is when you think that there was a particular lady held in office, the Right Honourable Liz Truss, who was in office here for a mere 44 days. But earlier this year, she truly did make history, historical events. It will be looked back at in 100 years. That is because, of course, Ms Truss became the very final British Prime Minister to be asked to form a government by our late and wonderful monarch. However, it's normally taken place at Buckingham Palace. But because of events, as we now all know, she also had the double whammy of being asked to go to Balmoral to meet our late Majesty the Queen. And this particular picture will go down in history. But not only that, a lot of people, of course, are saying, well, the Right Honourable Miss Truss wasn't particularly good. She was only in power a short time. It's a little unfair, isn't it? Because then she had to lead the country through the biggest state funeral we've ever seen. And when you think about it, it must have been incredibly daunting. I mean, no one prepares you for that. No one actually suspected that that was going to happen so quickly, but it did. Now, when people leave office here at number 10 Downing Street, a lot of people say, you know, what do ex-prime ministers do? And we're going to tell you more about that in another video. But what is interesting to find out is that some do well and some don't. Recently, of course, the likes of Tony Blair, the Labour Party leader, made an incredible amount of money touring the world offering lectures. Then it was revealed that the former British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Theresa May, did well on the touring circuit. Boris Johnson also apparently is doing quite well now. But what are the chances of Liz Truss? Well, according to a very good source, Liz has been offered very lucrative deals, even though she was only in office for a short time. This is because, as I've said, the association with the late monarch. What was the meeting like? What were her thoughts at that time? Did she even have a hint of just how ill our late monarch was? All that's never been revealed, so there could be a documentary, a tell-all book, and of course, what was it like to be travelling up to Balmoral on such an historical day? I mean, we were all shocked when we saw that picture, and many of us never knew that this would be the last time we would see our wonderful late Queen in public again. And Liz truly was at the point of history, whichever way you look at it. Never, just for her short time. Wouldn't it be interesting to get her perspective on what it was like meeting the Queen for the very final time, and also leading our brand new king, King Charles III, through all of that pomp and circumstance? And more importantly, of course, for Liz, how did she cope through all of that? I thought she did exceptionally well. So while some people have been rather cruel, unkind, and basically scathing about her short time, I for one would find it fascinating to get her perspective on such an historical royal moment, a true royal moment in history. Neil Sean, 10 Downing Street, London.